The second paragraph, Fernando, is about 3 types of interview techniques. The cognitive interview, hypnosis, and instructed eye closure, which, my lord, what a naming convention. I can't roll my eyes enough at that name. And the whole passage is that the cognitive interview is a great technique, but it has a significant drawback. It is complicated. It's so complicated that it requires a lot of training, and then even once people are trained, they don't always do it right. Hypnosis has other problems. Mostly the false confidence is what she focuses on. But there is an ideal. In the top of the first, second, third, fourth paragraph, the ideal method required no special training, applied to the entire population of witnesses, has a positive effect on memory reports, no increase in false details. What is this? Asking them to close their eyes. That's the technique. It's amazing. Oh, Lord of mercy. All right, so let's answer this question. The main point of the passage, instructed eye closure. Asking them to close their eyes is the ideal witness interviewing technique. Hey, look at answer choice E. It says exactly that. That's what we're looking for. For number 7, something that's not true of the instructed eye closure technique, the passage never said it was true of the instructed eye closure technique, was the false confidence. In answer choice D, false confidence is something the author said happens with hypnosis, not with instructed eye closure. Come on. For number 8, did you get sucked into answer choice B? Ain't nothing in this passage about interviewing suspects. This is a passage about interviewing witnesses. Make that change and I'm with you on B. But, notice that B and C are essentially the same, right? We're pointing to the kind of thing that the police want to know when they're conducting interviews. But not interviews of suspects. For number 9, how do we know that the author thinks there's reason to worry that it's less effective if they deviate from the procedures? Because she said there is one problem with cognitive interviews. It is super complex. It's complicated. And that means from that problem, we have the problem of training. And even if we do train them in the last sentence, even the trained ones often deviate from the procedures. Why does she even mention that? Because it's a problem. It is the problem with the cognitive interview. And so that's how you arrive at an answer choice A. Reading comprehension, right? From 10, hypnosis has the following consequence. Well, we already talked about this. We talked about this in question 7. Hypnosis has the false confidence problem. Interviewers are not able to accurately assess reliability by asking the witness how sure she is, because she's going to be very sure because she's got this false confidence that the passage talked about in line 35. All right, the relationship is analogous to the one between the cognitive interview and instructed eye closure. Okay, cognitive interview is a great technique. It was just super complicated. And cognitive interview is usually done with, I don't know if it's done with eyes closed the whole time. Hold on a second. Did we say, I feel like we said at some point that that we asked them to close their eyes during the cognitive interview, but maybe not. Okay. All right, fine. Maybe I'm misremembering, and that wouldn't be so weird. Anyway, cognitive interview is a great technique, but it's super complicated and difficult. Eye closing is easy, and it achieves all the same effects. I want an analogy from one of these, and look at how answer choice B is analogous. You've got the idea that this complicated, difficult thing to do achieves effects, but this much simpler thing can get you the same effects. So reduced consumption of saturated fat combined with an increased consumption of fiber has benefits. So that's a technical and difficult to track kind of thing. But you can get the same benefits just by eating the fiber. So you don't have to do both. That really makes me think that maybe we did talk about closing our eyes during the cognitive interview. You know what? I'm not going to waste your time looking for it here. If you find it in the passage, leave it in the comments. I think probably we did. That leaves only question 12. The author would be most likely to agree with which of the following statements. Did we talk enough about 11? Yeah, we did, right? Cognitive interview is great. eye closure, simpler. It's just one little thing to do, and it achieves all the same effects. Reducing fat and eating fiber is great, but you can do the same thing with a simple method, just increase fiber. Okay, now I feel like I've covered question 11. Question 12, what would the author agree with? Answer choice B is just coming right from that first paragraph. And the problem with the cognitive interview is that it's complicated. And so it requires a lot of training. And even when you train them, trained officers often deviate from the procedures. So even if the police force had the time to train all their officers, the complexity would still pose problems. They still wouldn't comply precisely with the requirements for cognitive interviews. We know that because the passage said it. That's what we're looking for.